we go. We're back.
That's right. We did it. It's one of 3 takes on the first take. The Dream Show Live. Welcome to our time here. Let me get this can out of the way. That's trashy. They don't pay for that. That was just trash.
I thought you just had some new like gadget back there.
Oh, it's just I just caught the wind. I was like, whoa, that ain't cool. That's just trash can. But whatever. See, it bees like that. Dream Show
What's
Live.
up, people?
We out here Wednesday, 12-ish. Right. I guess this is kind of being 12 works. I got my work on the mornings, teaching class and some private lessons and stuff, and so we just kind of roll in with a little bit of a break typically before now. This was hard during the school because I had to go pick up my son. You know, time is relative to the season of the year as well.
That's your full blown into summers now, right? Like summer has been something that in my adult life I don't even really realize when it starts and finishes because I don't have
a school
calendar. Yeah, it's just hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like it is or isn't whatever time. But but now they're at like a drama camp thing.
Okay.
Okay. Wizard of Oz or whatever. So it's cool. It's another just thing to do, but now we got time for this. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on. What up, Miguel?
Stuff we got our in the usuals in here. There's a lot going on in the world. There was quite a bit of news. My mom hit me up about a brawl that she was like, "Where was this?" And I was like, "How did you see that?"
It's online.
It's made it into the algorithms, dog. Like I got calls from people that like have barely paid attention to the the like competition scene that are like all of a sudden that are hitting me up and being like, what's happening in these opens?
There's a lot I think that goes into that one particular case, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know and won't speculate to know all the backstory, perhaps, of what's going on. But that was just that was pretty wild all around. And where to start realistically, I guess, with it, depending on who you are and what set it off. But I actually had a conversation like this. I think I definitely did with a student a few weeks ago, but I don't know if we brought it up here. But like, she asked how she could, when she took somebody's back, and one of the bigger students that was like pretty big and strong and hard for me to hold down when he's really like getting after it. How could she keep him down when she got his back? And I was like, I mean, these are the things that you could typically try, but like, I don't know that you can.
Yeah. Sometimes physics just takes over.
Then you could maybe be trying to choke him as he stands up. But unless it's like a life and death situation, that's really risky.
Yeah.
Just for funsies.
Because you don't have your hands now.
Yeah, he could fall back on you or whatever the case, like anything, just randomness could happen, right? So just in a sense like that, one, it's the same thing that we say in PGF things is like, if somebody's got you up above their waist,
you're in danger.
Under control, even if you're holding on to him, like he was holding the other guy too, essentially. It's dangerous for both people, right? In that case. So that's why we kind of do what we do with the submission stuff. But even in PGF, this scenario with the back would play out, maybe minus some shot clock situational stuff that could change it. uh, the same way tactically. Is like if you get my back and I'm standing, you have it. And especially like in an ADCC where the one kid had scored, he had a good back ride. It was tough. The other guy tried to shake him off. He tried to, he made him switch sides. He couldn't get him off safely. And so then it becomes kind of, do I just go ahead and just like, is this like a checkmate position where you just kind of concede the whole game at that point? But there's nothing that ever says that. So nobody really ever is going to do that. Time's running down. Does he go down face first?
Which technically that's illegal too if he takes a front roll or does anything like that, because now
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's the worst, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Like, but then he'd have to go down under control, which would then definitely give his neck up. So just go ahead and get finished right now. Like I said, you might as well just go ahead and concede if this is what we're doing in this case. So then it becomes like, do you just jump and do like a back flop and just land on him? Because maybe that'll knock him out. It'll definitely knock him out. Maybe, and then in a Street Fighter. So it's like, it goes off the camera on the camera that I've seen of the match or whatever, when he kind of falls to his side. And so I don't know exactly what happens when the kid falls or jumps or whatever.
The video I saw it's not the one that I've seen going around. Somebody sent me another video that was another angle of him like taking the slam, and it was like you see in MMA guys do it when guys get on their back. It was the like, whoop, get off my back, and like throw himself back.
So what is the answer though? In this case, because you're not getting off his back, you're not progressing. He can't get you off. He can't go anywhere tactically. He can't flee the mat to get you off. There is no break. There is no stall. There is no rule for this. Except for figure it out in the moment, kinda. And you got a 17-ish year old kid and a 15-year-old ish kid who's,
was that the ages of them? Were they like?
They're both grappling a lot though. They have a lot of
experience. But young.
But they're kids still. Basically, they're really tough, crazy, scrappy kids, and they're gonna take risks. They don't care about themselves in a safety way very much right now. So they definitely don't care about the opponent. I don't mean they don't care about them.
It's not in their mind.
Right. They're just not thinking about safety. They're thinking about trying to win, or they can, not lose, or whatever. This is a big deal. If I can get him off of me, maybe something happens, or maybe there's a history here and something's happened and it's like, well, now it's my turn. Get back, or I don't know, but these things do happen. And then anytime there's like this weird gray area where somebody can be dirty in sports, universal, it happens.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to elbow you when you have the basketball or whatever. So people start flopping, and then like they're both the same person. It's like that's the game shit that we've talked about. You're like, oh, this is what starts pissing me off. It's like the people start doing this, and it's like, but that is what it does. It becomes to a degree when you don't have a good answer. This is why I said Derek headbutted what's his name during that one point.
And it wasn't even like he was trying to headbutt him. He was just trying to go as fast as forward as
anything to get these guys off of me or whatever. Because that's what he felt in his mind at that time, was like, I can't get this off of me. I got to do something extreme. And so he just went and he headbutted. And it's like, oh, why could you do that? And it's like, because I don't know what to do. It's like, and we're an aggressive sport.
Right. That's what I was about to say, is that like we're in this sport that like I'm on his back and I'm literally trying to kill him. And so what is the answer, and why do I have to now all of a sudden take his safety into concern when 3 seconds ago I was trying to blow his ACL out? Like
it's like, because the other guy could have sold out the finish.
Yeah.
Right. And then what happens then? you blow out your grips and stuff a lot more. You start getting
Mm-hmm.
tired faster. Than that. So it's like that's what I mean. Is like I'm not picking a side. I don't think necessarily that the right or the like for I don't want to hurt anyone necessarily in competition. I've not really ever thought that that's what I was going to do per se, but I have not cared. Like I said, I have not cared if the person
It,
got hurt in the case of this stuff that we're doing because it's like it's
yeah.
gotta be them or me, and so it's like I get it. I'm not, and so I would hope that I wouldn't do that, but I don't know in that situation that I wouldn't do something like that.
Yeah, and when we start getting into the technicalities, and this has
Because
been
if you
one of
jump
my
hard on me,
like,
that's what I'm gonna do.
yeah, and well, and all right, we always talk about the rules dictating the fight and that type of thing, and it's like, well, if I'm in a scenario where I'm in a place like ADCC, like, let me just pull up a highlight real quick of just dudes that are just slamming through tables, slamming onto the side, and doing. They encourage it. They like culturally, that is the
That's
culture.
what they've, yeah.
And so, right, wrong, whatever, it's what they've perpetuated. And you and I both came up in the MMA world, and it's one of those things that, like, getting slammed, I don't think people really understand. Like, getting slammed in an MMA cage is not the same as getting slammed on a mat that has nothing but the mat and concrete. It's a different kind of slam. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't do that. And so, like, if I'm out in the street or if I'm on like somebody's like back like that, the awareness is that I could go backwards. So either I need to get my feet behind me and stay behind him and create my own takedown to get him back down to the ground, or I need to kill him right then and there and accept my fate of what's about to happen. Is that I could go backwards. So I need to tuck my chin. I need to keep my head like safe and know like what's about to happen.
I mean, and even in a cage, there's a wall there that's gonna that'll hold you both up in lots of instances, and you can get away with a lot of stuff that's real or fake, however you want to say, in those scenarios too. Um, it's just and you're correct. That's an interesting take that I haven't thought as much about too. Is that most of the cages and things are a suspended floor. It's not the ground; they are suspended, so there is a little bit of get, even though it is just plywood and like a little mat thing that's a little bit thicker or something, maybe with canvas. Um, it's still elevated, and so that does give a little bit of like softness to it, and that's why you'll see elevated floors with springs and things like that. It does a very similar task or similar thing. I'm thinking now too. That makes sense.
Well, and it's when
It's
you get,
and if the guy grabs back like that, you could be punching him, right? It's like there's that part too. So there's like that's what means there's a lot of this that is just like it's not real. It's a game. We're playing a game, and then now you're getting into again. It's a gray area of the game to where it's like, I mean, did you mean to slide into his leg and like take his knee out, or did you just slide aggressively into the base? Oh, I would never. But then you've done it before.
Yeah.
There's
3 or 4 guys. Yeah.
Maybe you should chill out then if we're playing sports.
Yeah.
Because sports is maybe sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Also. Like maybe that's the thing that we gotta get back to a little bit in that way because
but look at other sports.
I didn't like the takes in some of this stuff though you just said it too about the culture and the way that it's been taken with Nogi being like just hooligans essentially and not having any like respect or whatever for the thing, so but that's not but also in that same line, it's not my job to police the world and what people think of a sport. I just can only like do what I do that's around me in my circle and influence it that way. And just, outside of all the sportsmanship stuff, if you run on the mat and you attack one of my students, you're about to have 2 people fighting you for sure. So like that part I get. I don't know who did what right and wrong, but if you come in and you attack one of my people like that, and it's like you're breaking all the laws and rules of what we've agreed to do here completely and totally. And so now you change the rules of this thing. And so like the first thing you see is that one guy kicking the one kid in the balls or whatever it is. And it's like, you know, I think he was trying to kick him in the leg because the homeboy pushes him in the back, sort of when he gets there, which is like, then you like if you pull out the fight or whatever, it's kind of chaotic in that way because there's like a guy who walks up behind the one guy, and it looks like he shoves him towards the guy who kicks him in the nuts, and that guy who was like pushed the guy, he's now fighting the people who it seems like were like kicking the other guy in the ball. So it's like he was trying to walk up behind him to like support, and then all of a sudden he saw like the guy was rushing or whatever, and it became like a push, which you know what, because then they started like fighting or whatever. But that push is like made his boy go forward to take the low blow. But that's crazy. They got to have like some security stuff there. They got to like your mom shouldn't be that close to the mat. Like everybody's and everybody's dads and everybody's like whatever shouldn't be that close to the mats. I think this is where IBJJF has probably figured it out and gotten it right. And this is why some of that stuff's the way it is that we don't like now that we're getting older and growing up.
Because this has happened before.
They've seen this movie. They know how this shit plays out, and that's why there's certain separation.
That's why there's a fence. That's why there's a bullpen. That's why you're not allowed out there. That's why you're not, because it's like because you can't behave yourself.
Yep, and you got to have some paperwork on you just to be safe and make sure you're not out there just whatever. And so we bring it on ourselves, man, over and over and over again, no matter what venue and thing is that we're doing.
Promotion, it's across the board. They bring it on themselves. Yep.
We as a whole, human wise, even that's what I'm saying. It's like it's that whole thing of just like in school or you know team sports or whatever growing up or whatever. It's like, well, everybody's gonna run, you know, or everybody's gonna have to do this now because one person was talking or what it is. But that's how it is though. That's really how it goes now. One person did something. Now there's a warning. Everything's hot label on stuff because one person decided to sue about it years ago. Why do you have this manual that says don't stick your fork in the electric socket or whatever and stuff? It's like
somebody did it.
It just happens, and so you have to be able to like so. You got to. It's got to happen. You got to have separation there, and as a community, we got to kind of you know remember what we're doing. Same thing, dude. Is again is kids, and then as parents. A lot of times in this case is what it seems like too is two young men were competing. Someone's whatever happened. No, 100% correct, Richard. But like a female voice yells a pretty hot take, and I'm assuming that was one player A's mom, and then she says something else, which then gets the attention of another female voice who says another like derogatory towards that female voice. And then the two young men seem to start defending those female voices overall. And that's when the fight really breaks out.
Because people from the outside started getting involved. And
it's like that's probably their moms. Or girlfriend or mom and girlfriends or something.
Yeah.
Females that they care a lot about, and you get passionate about that. You're already fired up. You know,
you just got slammed or you just, there's a whole bunch going on.
Now you're not going to cuss at my mom also, or, you know, call my girlfriend a bitch or whatever. It's like, no, right? So then now you're doing, that's another layer of this that shouldn't be a part of this, even though.
And ultimately, like, and I hate to even like try to like put it off on this, but it's also like we boil down to almost everybody that I train around, everything that I've been involved in this, everybody sees themselves as martial artists. Everybody quotes Musashi like Jesus. One of the biggest things that I think that they ignore is that the ability to not jump to violence is part of that superpower, right?
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta cut a fool down. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But in the scenario that you're in, and in that scenario, all you look like, if you're the one out there in a brawl after that scenario, is all I see is a guy that lost that's upset. I don't see a martial artist.
For sure.
I see you letting your emotions take the best of you. And so, no, that doesn't mark off the martial artist.
Who though? I don't know who's who, right? So that's what I'm saying.
Right. I'm not picking a side on that. I'm saying that any reaction.
Well, so like if your student teammate or whatever is one of these two guys, and someone goes out there and assaults him, what do you do?
Well, in my experience, and this is outside of even that, like just in the world of how fights end up getting started, you can see it happening before it happens. If you get your emotions out of it and you stop engaging in it, you can see it happening.
I mean, you were at the Perry event where it almost happened with that guy.
And how did it not? How did it not?
But that's what I'm saying. I got in front of it very like assertively and
but calmly and assertively.
Like right. That's what I mean. I wasn't trying. You
didn't just come in and cold cock homie.
No, that's what I'm saying. So but someone needed to
stop him. If that was my teammate, and
right, with authority, but not like a physical force type of authority, which is what resorts to a lot of times. But maybe did the officials have control of the situation at all?
No. And as if I were the teammate or the coach on either side, here's my reaction to that: is verbally look at my teammate or my student or whoever and go, hey, just stop talking. Or if I have to and I see it physically coming there, my teammate, not the other guy, not the anything, I go grab them, hug them, and pull them off the mat and go, you don't want to be in this fight. Because if I go in and I engage with the other guy and I start fighting and I've been in fights, I've been in group fights, I've been in this. I know you go over your buddy's head and you help him out. No, you grab your buddy, you pull him out of the situation, you leave, and you just stop talking. That's how you stop a fight. None of those guys were going to attack you while you were walking off. None of those. It wasn't, they created the scenario and continued to engage with the scenario, and not one person that is a martial artist walked away. Because yes, the emotional answer is I go in there and I throw the punches and I do that. Well, now you're just as guilty as the guy who started it. Now you're both, and in the eyes of the law and all that, you're both going to jail.
Maybe that's when,
no one wins in a fight.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like if it's already going at that point, though, I'm not sure that that's the right answer still. But I could see what you mean if you can get in there fast enough or whatever.
Yeah, I'm talking about before it ever started. That could have been stopped by one or both of the coaches that were involved.
100%. And then also any of the people that are sitting on the outside. And that's the thing. Like I've been umpiring some of the baseball stuff too, just to do it, and to get out there and like also just to get like reps again doing stuff. Like I've refereed and umpired stuff, whatever, since I was a child, for money. That was lots of money, which looking back at it, it's kind of wild, but I definitely did and learned how to have the authority in the situation or whatever it is. But also, it's like there's stuff you learn the gray areas of things, and you learn, sometimes you do make mistakes in periods, and it's like, damn. But once you've already done it, it's done, in that way too. But again, like some of that stuff is definitely like getting a hot take and then being able to shut that down as the official of whatever the thing is somehow, with control of the situation. Or so that's what I'm saying, is like whoever the officials were, that's who should have been able to separate this thing or
mitigate it and slow it down. And
because that's again, that's what goes down to, I guess, is like, and like Rich said, you're asking these guys that are fighting to not be fighters in a moment,
which
jacked up.
I agree with that, but to some extent, like I said, like we are in a section of fighting that is supposed to be a much more martial art like aspect.
Man,
And
this show
so
was
they're
started on
not fighting.
this was started on no holds fights and dojo
Yeah.
storms and stuff like that too. So I don't really want to hear too much about all of that either, because like people been fighting since the beginning of this. That's been a thing about it for a long time. So there is that too. We should be holding ourselves to a higher like standard
Yeah.
of whatever for sure. You know, um,
For me personally, the way that I see it is that I see those actions and see those things, and then the teams that condone it or the teams that cause it or the teams that do it. All right, well then you're not my cup of tea. That's not who I train with. That's not who I associate
can I
with. That's
can I be honest with you for
what.
half a second? I'm mostly bummed out because it was the kids that were like the three brothers or whatever or what
Mm-hmm.
that are like are coming up, and I was like, oh man, that'd be cool to somebody like get them all on like a PGF team
Mm-hmm.
at different weight classes or whatever, and then like that would be like a fun like cool thing to do. And now it's like, maybe not, maybe don't do that now. At least yet.
But
At least yet, not yet. You know, and that's
I,
it. People have opportunity to grow and change, and maybe there's none of it was their fault as the athletes and stuff too per se. There's a lot going into it. People, you know, and again, I've snatched off my wrist bracelet, anklet thing or whatever, and thrown it at the referee, and I've cussed
mm-hmm.
off, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I've done my share of learning through
Mm-hmm.
making an ass out of myself. Also,
That's where some of these hot takes and points are coming
that's
from. It's like, hey man, you don't want this.
no, that's what I'm saying is like that's why I would like rather us not have to fight about anything ever physically for real. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens, man, and fighting is really dangerous. And I heard somebody's order bone got broken or whatever, perhaps,
Maybe.
uh, which you don't know how easy that could happen, and it's very easy um, with a brawl type situation where people are
Mm-hmm.
throwing punches and kicks and like all kinds of stuff like that. Um, Again, like you said, if you've never been in like a group kind of fight, it's chaos. And even if you, and again, being the guy who's pulled people off before, I pulled them back. They fell on top of me, and somebody kicked me in the face. So
Yep. Yep.
that's why I don't do that shit anymore
Yep.
because I'm not trying to get stomped out for trying to be the good guy either.
For trying to help. Yeah,
That's my experience
quite
with
a
that.
few of the fights. Yeah, I ended up in the fight because I was trying to help. Like, yeah. I
If
get
I'm going
that.
to help, we're just going to go ahead and keep fighting, I guess, if I can. But if it's early enough, I'll do the thing, like you said.
We're talking about 100% honesty. You want some honesty on mine of like when I quit drinking was I was in a fight and in a fight that I didn't like I was talking about, I wasn't aware enough before it started happening to stop it. And I ended up in a fight where I ended up having like I hurt a couple people and like I got hurt and like it was not a fun little brawl. It was not a good fight. And that was the realization the next morning to me was like, yo, if I hadn't have been drunk, I could have just stopped all that. I could have like we could have just because those guys didn't want to fight me when they got done. When it all got done, it was like, oh my god, and I'm not like tooting my own horn. It was like, no, like I know what I'm doing, but I was too intoxicated to stop the whole thing from happening.
Yeah, then that's definitely a thing too with alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume nobody here was drinking.
I would
Uh,
hope not.
I mean, yeah, it's not unheard of, but I'm gonna assume not.
Yes.
Let's see. And so, yeah, Richard, that's what I said too about the walls or fences. That's the thing, like the IBJJF did with the cards and then making you know, uh, if you're not registered even as one of the black belts, you can't even go down there and stuff, which used to piss me off and still does in my little anti-establishment heart. But now, damn it,
You kind of get it.
as I'm getting older, man, I'm starting to respect the law.
that's what is it is like there's the saying of like when you're young it's like if you're on one side you don't have a heart, then if yeah,
if you're conservative as a youngster, you don't have a heart, and then as an old person, if you're a liberal, it's the same thing, I guess.
it's the same. Yeah, it's the same conundrum. But I mean, ultimately, I think that you, like you said, it'll end up just doing the same thing of like, well, now we'll have barriers. Now you won't be able to be down there. And that'll be like, and that's just how big organizations have to solve things because they can't onesie twosie fix it. Cause, and I think, you know, I got friends that are refs and I understand the difficulties that they have in their jobs. It's scary. It's hard to be in there and you're going to upset one side or the other no matter what. Like it's a difficult job. But like off of that brawl, like there was another thing that I saw got shared, and I don't know if it was at the same ADCC Open or if it was at a different one. But did you see the girl that got put to sleep in the triangle and
No,
got Kimura? Oh
no.
my goodness. There was a teenage bracket with two girls, and the girl had the girl in the triangle. And you know how if they have their arm outside and it's dug deep, you can't really tell if they're trying to posture real hard, but it's still sealing up. That's what happened to her. And the girl had the like, what do they call it? The spear or the where they like shove their hand down into it to finish the triangle. She was doing that, and you can kind of see the girl like lose consciousness if you're like, but again, I understand from a referee's perspective, sometimes it's really hard to tell what's going on, but you can kind of see the girl lose posture and you're like, okay, she's definitely struggling or asleep. And then you see her leg go like limp. And then the other girl thinks she's not finishing her. So she reaches over and grabs the Kimura on the arm that's like holding the triangle open and then just yeets it. And just her shoulder just twisted. And you're like, because she was unconscious. And it's like, oh man, you just destroyed a 15, 16-year-old's like rotator cuff. And it's like, when we're talking about this violence, we're talking about the different things. It's like, well, the referees really do have a very big responsibility. And especially if we're talking about in the younger brackets and whatnot, kind of to, that's their job. Their job is to mitigate these things.
And just like you
And
can't get a black belt till you're 18. These are all the like things.
yeah,
These things. We're not mature enough, man. I'm barely mature enough to handle this stuff. Right?
yeah,
And you know, everybody's
yeah.
just playing authority. Everybody's trying to like do the thing that, you know, they know is whatever right best they can, I feel like. So but it's hard.
It is.
It's
It
hard. And like
is.
you said, reffing's hard. Because if you stop it early, oh, your job's not to do whatever, and it's like actually that is the main job of the referee is to ensure like athlete safety and rule adherence, despite what you want the rule or the
Mm-hmm.
thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, and as one of these officials, I don't care what you say.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I know what my duty is based on the teaching that I have. Um, And so definitely with kids, definitely with amateur fighters and things like that, you definitely go faster on stuff. Um, I've seen a trend where people are letting kids go further because they think kids are more,
Malleable.
yeah, they well and more technically like sound these days,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
know more stuff. And those are both probably true. But also, who cares?
Yeah.
Right?
That I think more
Care.
of that.
I don't really care. And it's like again, circling back into the baseball stuff or whatever. It's like, yeah, we might lose because we don't have another pitcher, but I'm not gonna risk this child's health for us to win today
Mm-hmm.
because because he would win it for us
Mm-hmm.
perhaps, but also
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, how many of us would do that? How many of us would hurt ourselves to win for if somebody didn't make that choice for us? Again, I know myself been in an MMA fight and got punched over this eye. It ended up needing like 20 something stitches with two different layers of stitches. You had to like stitch up the inside and then stitch up the
And
outside
then pull it
around it,
together.
or like a football. And they asked what we're gonna, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then I whispered to my coach, I can't see. I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see.
And he said, don't say that.
Like, good. And I was like, I'm good. But then I heard the referee, and I'll never, Tony Mullinax, I love him forever, man. Dude, like, was a real OG, like, referee dude. But he said, y'all may not care about that boy's eye, but I do. And I was like, oh, that sounds bad. He stopped it or whatever, and it was bad. But I was going to go. If, you know, and they were going to let me go because they know I'm tough and was going to
be. And they have to trust you telling them that. And if I tell you I'm fine, then I can't, you know, be like, no, you're not
with your guy. Right. But then also you do want, like, but you do want somebody that's going to protect you from yourself like that too. If you're going to hurt yourself, like somebody needs to be strong enough to stop you somehow, even if that means pissing you off. Right. And even if it was the relationship or something somehow. But like, again, like I said, like in the moment a little bit, I was pissed that they stopped it or whatever, because it was a fight I really wanted to win. I was kind of winning. I just got hit really clean one time.
Yeah, a cut.
And I've been cut a bunch. So I was like, I'm fine, but I was not fine. Especially if I got hit again, you know, in the same spot or something that would have just made it way worse or whatever. So it's like, I really respected him tenfold more as an official at that point, because it showed me what that means. Right. It's not like you don't just let him do it, because he did let me go in fights that we asked him to let it go, where I was kind of getting beat up and like it was like, oh, it's not good. And he's like, no, I got it. I'm good. I'm getting beat up a little bit, but I'm fine.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker eventually. And he's okay. Because then we told him before one fight, even after that one, was like, hey, again, this might get rough a little bit, but I got it. Like, give me a chance to fight or whatever. So that's what I'm saying. So he did that. I was like,
well, and at that point you were a pro though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm fighting for money. Look,
that's like, communication too, though, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be able to communicate with these people, and then they got to be real professionals and real officials to where he can understand what I'm saying.
That like I've accepted the cost this is going to cost
me. As a young pro, I said that to him, and he said what he said, and he let me fight through, and I won. Right. And he saw me do that a few times. And so then when I asked for it again, he knew what I would do in that situation when I was already really hurt. And it's like, this is going to get that guy hurt, because I've seen him keep going. But this is one that you should not keep going on. This is actually the one that you should stop about. And it takes somebody that knows. And how do you know without just years
experience and seeing it?
So I'm sure some people have a story of him where he's the worst guy, the worst official.
He stopped it. I was going to win the championship. And
you know what I'm saying? But for me, it's like that dude saved my left eye.
Yeah.
For sure.
And dude, we've all seen it too, especially in the like my era coming along and whatnot. There were referees that people that like they would just, you'd watch them just let guys' brain cells die.
Right.
And you're like, dog.
Man, yeah. And then there's like, what about it? You know, that's what they signed up for. And it's like, but I mean, no.
That's in my era, those were the people, the ones that are coming, they were amateurs.
This is why that's why there's a commission.
Yep. Yep.
That's hard
time. That's funny.
That's why.
That made me think of that. That sound just made me think that I watched the Hulk Hogan documentary that I told you about like a week ago while I was working, and it made me smile and think of you. That he was saying that one of the biggest wrestlers that he was like into it was Dusty Rhodes. That was like what got him into it, was like that personality.
That's the guy, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, for a generation before, you know, even that's what's, you know. He was the guy for like that generation of dudes who were coming up as I was kind of coming up.
Right.
So like Dusty was the dude, but he was already a little older and stuff by the time I was coming up, but he had like the charisma, the interviews and things like that. Into that. And then I started learning more and more as I got older that he was the man that like, heard there's a famous Ric Flair he broke into the thing, and he wanted to call himself like Ramblin' Ricky Rhodes, like so he could be Dusty's like cousin or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But they're like, no.
yeah.
So it's, be something else. But it was like that. He did a lot of that stuff. He put over Ric Flair to be a lot of who he is as being the opponent and doing some of the stuff like that. So yeah, that's
Well, and I mean, it's like we're talking about is that it's.
oh yeah, see Starcade 85
Oh, okay. That's impressive.
with He-Man.
But
Same era.
but I mean, it's the pursuit that everybody's on, and like that thing with fighting that has been interesting to me has been that like it built up into this thing that nobody ever expected. Like nobody ever expected this to actually be on the mainstream and be like a conversation where like, you know, the mid 2000s or whatever, like even like post 2010, like the fight world was still like an underground fight. Like it was illegal to fight in New York City up until the MSG fight with Connor there. Like that wasn't that long ago that
True.
it was illegal.
True.
And so it's like I think we're at this weird crossroads where you have those two like cultures and thought process kind of like intersecting. But then at the same time, when you go to any other sport, like I spent all week last week after or this week after the brawl or whatnot, sending you videos from baseball, hockey, football. Like
It's everywhere.
it's everywhere.
It happens. It
Yeah.
does. It
Yeah.
does. That's the thing. Like a lot of this, there's people, dude. The best part of some of the baseball stuff is the guys arguing with the umpires. Like that's part of the entertainment for the fans and stuff. Is like
Yeah.
actually arguing with like there's parts of this that are just that sports. And if that's what we're doing with some of it, then that's what we just say. Just say that then.
Yeah.
Like just say it.
Yeah.
Don't be holier than thou or whatever.
Right.
And act like something that we're not. And I'm okay with that. Like let's just call it a show and let's do the thing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of a thing too, is like speaking of like New York and stuff, wrestling back in the day, they had to pay the commission to come do the events because that was the only way to keep up kayfabe and stuff. And since the state, they thought it was real. So you had to pay the commission to come in and do licensing and all that kind of stuff. And then when they finally were like, boom, so then they didn't have to pay the commission anymore. When they finally were like, it's it's kayfabe. We got to pick the winners.
Yeah.
You know, it's a show. It's a performance. You know, so there's that too. You know, where it's like, again, just what are we doing? And let's just do that. Let's say it. If we're doing entertainment, let's be entertaining. If we're trying to be martial arts and like culture changing and like whatever, then that's like judo or whatever in Japan and stuff. That's like a different thing, and that's fine too. But and they can kind of exist together, but they're different, like spirits, I guess, or whatever. Yeah. Different like heart and souls of the thing or whatever. Because one is definitely entertainment and like financially kind of driven, and then the other is more just like self development and general like cultural, uplifting and things like that.
If I'm talking to my son or a athlete that's mine or like anybody that's trying,
let's call him Willie. Let's just call him Willie.
If you're talking, just call him Willie.
Willie.
If I'm talking to Willie and he's becoming an athlete, and he's trying to be like in like any sport. It doesn't matter what sport. Just my advice to him would be, it's a lot easier to be the one that holds your head high and is not the last one throwing the punch, throwing the jaw, or doing being that. You don't want to be that person. And so if you want to be that and hold yourself to a higher standard, I don't care what everybody else is doing. You be the one that walks away. because that's how I was raised. That's how I was taught. And now, did I always listen to that? Did young me like always be the one that like tried to be? No, I had to learn the hard way a couple of times.
Getting old.
Yeah, we're getting old. I like the rules now. Damn it. But it's, you know, you want to be the one that is capable of that. My true madness. But you know, and so it's like if in any scenario, it's be the and I feel like that this could be taken the wrong way of saying it like this, but be the bigger man.
Yeah.
Be the one that like you don't have to, but don't have to. Is that what Willie heard? All Willie heard was get big. He was
lifting earlier when I saw him today. He was like, turns out I'm already on the path. Thanks, Dad.
I mean, acai and Jesus, right? I mean, so but that at the end of the day, like I feel like that you can hold yourself up better and feel like a better person in that way, and not better than other people. I'm saying like feel good about yourself, feel good about what you're doing. Personally feel better if you're not
you.
Because in
yourself.
The reason in my opinion, the reason that like, so say the altercation that happened in Perry that you stopped by just assertively stepping in, is that most people that are starting a fight or that are throwing a punch, they're doing it because they're scared. They're doing it because they're emotionally involved and they're afraid of what's going to happen. And so they move first. Holler at them. Holler at them.
Cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I told you. I about figured it out now. Not all of it, but I got some.
Have you labeled your buttons?
No.
You should label them.
I can label them on the thing though. I could change
they say the name above it. Okay.
Right now I got one that I didn't know that at first, so they all just say trash talk. You put the idea of the thing on there. So
okay. Well, but no, I mean that's the biggest news that's happened in grappling this last couple weeks. So I don't feel like either one of our takes were as hot as we thought they were. Is that it's.
I mean, I could have came out with a more like hot take about it, but honestly, it wouldn't do any, like it doesn't do it again. Same thing. There's what you're saying, basically. Like me getting riled up about it, like for real, doesn't do anything for anybody, especially me.
Other than get your
just getting riled up and talking trash, and getting into an argument with somebody that's not really like my thing or whatever. See, while we're working on the heel turn, you catch me on the right day, I'll tell you some stuff. You know, I do my best to help, you know, everybody out when I can, but definitely there's a layer there that's like bubbling, and it's not a heel turn in the true sense, but it's like it's the thing. It's like, you know, I'm not down with a lot of the stuff that's going on, and so I'm just not gonna go with it. I'm not gonna say I am, and I'm gonna tell people that I don't like it, and if people don't like that I don't like it, then I'm okay with that. And you know, if you feel some kind of way, then you know, then change or whatever, like or prove that I'm wrong. So here's a show idea I had. I was gonna come on and Wallow was just gonna come on it. He was gonna be like the grumpy, like hot take guy. He was just gonna, you know how he is, coming firing off just like really crazy hot takes, and then I was gonna try to be reasonable and like reason with him as the like counterpoint to whatever the hot takes are that he comes with.
I see it becoming just both of y'all on hot takes.
Hot takes, just agreeing with each other, just getting worse. But then maybe that's a better show, right?
Maybe it's more entertaining.
Gas, no breaks.
Like, I mean,
Thursdays at 1:30.
wallow in the dream out here, just burning the world down.
Hey, nobody endorses this show. These opinions are not even our own.
This is the opinion of the AI.
We got this from the internet. I read this in a comment on Instagram, but that's a whole thing too. Is like you just go through and just read comments offline or whatever too. But
yeah, well, and
we could agree about it technically, like for real, even. But I could try to play the devil, and then I get
devil's
you
advocate.
Then you'll get mad that I'm not agreeing, and then you just cut off your show. You'd be like, "Fuck, I'm not doing this." It's like, no, that was
flipped everything over.
It was, man. You were supposed to do that.
And that's ultimately, as a culture and as people and as humans, unfortunately, that's what we pay attention to, the building fire. We pay attention to and so capitalizing on that and trying to like do that's become the meta of entertainment and of like anything where you're trying to get eyeballs, is to create controversy, focus on the controversy, and then allow people to
something real quick.
Discord. Oh, you out here Googling now.
Oops. Did I turn you down?
No, I don't know.
I turned you down.
Turn me up.
Turn me up. Sorry. I'm learning how to use this thing. I thought I was doing something else. So how do I turn that off? Whatever. It don't matter. Keep going.
But it's ultimately that, like, the line between entertainment and information and all, like, that's been blurred for the last like 15, 20 years. That's not been something that people have had a very nuanced conversation about. Like, it's all or nothing on one side or the other. So is it right? Is it wrong? I think we're past those arguments now. And I think, like I said, if I was telling somebody individually how to navigate, like, remove athletics, just how to navigate the world, is that it's not always best to be the reactionary one, because you're going to react. You're going to reflect whatever you react to. It's going to be a 10 times response to it. And so it's the better thing to do. And this is what I believe that I've gotten from martial arts and what I personally have picked up from Jiu Jitsu and the lessons that I've seen and being in the world of combat sports and whatnot, is that it's almost always better in every situation to take the deep breath, not react, and decide you're moving that way. Because if you react, like even in a fight, if I react instantly to the bad thing in the fight, well, then now I've overreacted. Yep.
You know, it's that thing. And so we're talking about reactions and takes and stuff like that. Over the last bit of the PGF season, during the season of the PGF, this last time, I kind of bumped into some news on YouTube that a guy was doing, and he was kind of covering some PGF stuff and then other stuff. And then I realized, I was like, man, I kind of like this guy's stuff. Like I'm like checking it out, or like I'm seeing it a lot. And then I just kind of end up watching most of the videos that he comes out with. And I don't watch a lot of people's jiu-jitsu videos because it maybe just, I don't know, doesn't really, I don't know whatever, but I like his stuff or whatever a little bit. And so I just commented on one of the videos that I'd be interested in like having him come on and stuff. So just got it pulled up real quick right here.
You want me to put it on the stage?
Yeah. And so he said that he would definitely do it. Just to hit stuff. But it's this one.
Josh Jitsu.
I've been looking at all my subscriptions over here. There's a lot of baseball card stuff and baseball stuff. See, I don't be subscribing to jiu-jitsu stuff.
You're not over here.
Y'all lame, most of y'all. But this guy's stuff's pretty cool, and so like he does a good job. He's been getting good with some of his different like thumbnail stuffs or whatever too. See, like that was PGF right here. Just a bunch of different things over time, and so he said he'd be down. It's a pretty new channel with only 132 videos, but he obviously does pretty well. It's got, you know,
almost 30,000 subscribers. My dude's killing.
So it's like nothing like wow crazy, but that's pretty crazy to me. You know,
that's crazy. No, that's good.
videos. That's not a ton of videos to build that good of a following.
Yeah.
So just want to first give him a shout out. And if you guys are interested in stuff like that, it's more of like a news kind of thing. And he just gives like information about a bunch of different things and not necessarily even a hot takes or anything. Just
telling you what happened.
Yeah, just let you know what happens. And
that's cool.
I think it's edited well, and I think he does a great job with it. And so we're gonna get him on here one day soon.
That'd be cool.
So, yeah.
That's it.
Just wanted to just kind of say that because we were talking about takes and different things and things like that. And this is part of the sport that doesn't exist a lot is like media-ish stuff or whatever. He's not there doing
That's
media.
Not the non-biased type of just reporting. Yeah.
Right. He's just reporting it from home and stuff, I guess, or whatever. But he's like looking into a lot of different things. So I think that's cool. So be looking for that too. All Gas, No Brakes, featuring Wallow. Probably ghost written by Miggy.
Y'all might want to check on that name.
Yeah, no, definitely.
No, I know for a fact that it's somebody. Oh, HBO owns that.
Oh, okay. I don't care. That's not a real thing. Yeah. I just made it up myself in my head. But
just like right now. Okay, I thought that was like what y'all had agreed on.
No. It's all fake. Just like everything. None of it's real. So,
that's great.
Yeah. We out here doing the thing though. But yeah, I guess that's kind of all the news I think I had. The Phenoms announced that they signed in this. I didn't do it, but the Phenom signed Sean Yadamarco. I think that's how you say his name. Time to Bless black belt, pretty high level. Black belt like 185er kind of weight class and stuff. Okay. So good signing. No, new to the PGF kind of thing again. Very high level grappler though. So good choice to get started. I think they wanted to shoot, pretty high on the thing here. And
I'll give you your hot take on that I'm watching, and we're an hour into our show. So if anybody's watching this or this gets clipped, whatever, is that I'm watching the teams come in, and as somebody who's watched this thing grow and watched it, this is my piece of advice, is that people that are coming in and becoming involved, they need to pay attention to the way the game is played and not the way that they've played every other game that has to do with jiu-jitsu.
Well, he's eco, so he'll figure it out.
That's so that might be a good hire in that way, of somebody who understands an evolutionary aspect
of everything.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's what I was saying too. Perhaps his coach, Kyron, is someone that might be interested in doing stuff too. I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes there with that, but it seems like they're working hard, making moves. Trying to kick the ball in the right direction, if you will. So they came out hot with a nice signing. I think that's a good signing. It's from an outside person, and definitely like they'll have to take care of them. Like this is it's a thing. That's growing all behind the scenes, and I think you have to elevate everything going into next season because other teams are already elevating everything going into next season. There's a list of stuff to do that's basically out there now at this point, kind of give a baseline, and hopefully it's being taken care of and looked at. Otherwise, people won't want to play for certain teams if they're not able to enjoy the ride, so to say, at the least.
There was a time, they made a movie about it with Brad Pitt about, there was a time that it really sucked to play for the Athletics. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a thing to where you can, enjoy the game, but hate where you're playing. And that can really affect, the overall.
Your gameplay and all that. Yeah.
A lot of people are that way. So good signing. I just saw that with some other news where, I haven't seen anybody else announce players or anything yet.
No, I don't think I've seen anybody else announce anything. But aside from, I have enjoyed seeing what's happening with, I know Egghead's doing it with the Wolverines. I've seen what the St. Louis guys doing it. I think the Carolina guys are definitely doing it because they've got Turo Cup. They're going to these events that are already going on, and they're doing what we always talked about. They're scouting. They're going like, hey, like I like watching you go and watching you go through. And so, like, for me personally, I'm excited to see that because it's, again, another needle that we've moved in the sport, that it's a different aspect in that way. And two, like, it gives us more of a reason to create the thing that, like, I enjoyed creating the scene that we created with the qualifiers. And like that style of tournament and what that created on the underground scene of like guys that were traveling all over the country trying to qualify and do these things. So like I am excited about what the next few years holds, and what I've been saying on the show for a while of calling these things less than qualifiers but more scouting events, of being able to just expand into that, of this thing becoming a sport that is like, it's
just games,
same. Right.
You're just playing games, and you could be playing games at different levels in different places. But if the scout is at the right spot, they see the right player, that becomes the thing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's cool. Like I said, we're gonna do the thing in Tallahassee. I gotta nail down. I keep struggling on like the specifics of how to like lay it out. We talked about it a little bit, but I think we need some kids stuff mixed in there just to kind of get that rolling, and then like the show part of it. Like I guess I could put out the call right here. Like we need about at least 2 guys and 3 guys maybe at weight classes 145, 155, 170, 185, and 205 that want to form a team of 5 players, or that don't mind getting put on a random team just to do a run of like what the next season is going to kind of be like, with like just a one-off thing. Or if we can get more people that kind of want to do that, then maybe we can make a day of that too, and run some team like dual stuff just to kind of get reps for everybody on it. And then also, again, this naturally just becomes a place to show your skills, and people will be watching. If you're trying to get in the PGF, the people that are involved will be watching stuff that we produce and put out, because I'm me,
Well, it's how it's always worked. It's how we've built this, and it's how it's come along, and that's how and it's the thing that like Keelan and I talk about this.
By the time I pay all my scientists, all my people in my research department, lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, because I'm selfless.
That's why.
This isn't about me. This is about but and as much of a joke and a funny thing that is, I've had a couple of separate conversations that like, no, truly, like the reason that I'm doing this is that like I was on the same path. I had that conversation with Chewy right before the PGF. Is that I told Chewy, I was like, I was you. I was trying to do this. My friends and I were all trying to make it to the thing you're trying to make it to. We all looked around and realized that there was no structure for it. And so we built it. And that's what it is. And I heard Brandon say it on the show you were on the other day, that like Keelan and I have been talking about this for probably the last year and a half, is like, oh, we did it. It worked. Now, it's the lesson that I know he and I've had a lot of conversation about this, and you and I've talked about this, is that like the biggest lesson I got from all of it was people don't know what success actually looks like.
Yeah.
And when it becomes a thing that success becomes this perpetual thing that you have to do, it's this, oh, well, that's different than what I thought it was. But we moved the needle on the sport. Everything changed because of the way that things are. And so for that,
we did the first reality type TV show thing. We did the thing, the money, the thing, the team, the thing. Yep.
And now there's a pathway. I'm watching it. Like, and even 2 years ago, it wasn't like this. And now every single one of the
hipster part of me is just like, all right, now it's just like, now everybody's doing it. It's not cool.
But see, that's where I feel personally.
I think I'm lying, but that's like,
no, I feel that. But where I felt it and saw it when I saw it hit the success, it's like, well, what I'm more attracted to is the underground scene stuff that we created it from. And so where I find my place that I like is like what I'm doing with Cancun Open, with JHI and stuff. It's like creating that, repeating the process and creating that pathway for other people and creating that pathway again. And then it's like, yeah, there's a thing at the top and you can go you can go to dinner with the Schwankies and do all that. Like, that's not why I did it. I did it so that, we have the pathways that we have. I'm watching Chewy go on a tour. I'm watching Sean Melanson go on a tour. I'm watching Elijah has been on a tour. I could just keep running down the list of guys that all have seminar tours going on. And it's because of the volume that we got to experience them in the season. You don't get that from an ADCC trials. You don't get that from an ADCC Open. If you get that from ADCC Opens, you're competing every single weekend for 6 months, and it's rough. And so it's like,
it's basically become the old BJJF Open Series thing.
I was like, yeah, you can get the experience and you do it because you can keep doing it, but like
getting medals and you keep getting experience. It's a good, and this is like the UFC thing, and they kind of got me on that a little bit. We're talking about that, like doing the open things. Like, no, I get it. Like, it's not a bad thing overall that they're doing that stuff to kind of grow the sport or whatever. But at the same time, what are they gonna like? What are they doing with it though? Like, what are they?
100, and this isn't a hot take, and I agree with you. I think that they're good overall, but my response when it first came out got confirmed when they released the other day about the prices, and it's $175 for registration and $75 per extra registration. So it's pricey. And do I think that it's going to create the scenario where you have 150, 200 new blue belts that all have UFC world champion in their Instagram profile? 100%. That's going to happen. But like, is it a good thing? And I sent you something about it the other day, is that you see these guys that make it to the UFC, and it's like, man, all of us started out, and that was not all of us, but like a lot of us started out, and like the goal was the UFC. That was where you were trying to get. And so if these guys are able to make it to that thing and get the thing that they were after, I'm happy for them. I think it's great. I think it's good. My own personal disagreements with organizations, or like you said, the hipster stuff, like that doesn't really matter. And
the thing of that too is like, man, getting there is even one thing, then like staying is another thing also.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's cool, and it's worthy to want to have a big goal. So I don't want none of that to come off the wrong way and stuff.
Yes.
But also it's that's that they're not the same, right? Because what are they're doing 6-minute rounds. They're not doing the same rule set. Is there going to be individual bowls for everybody to fight on, or they're going to be fighting on
a whole bunch of bowls? Like a little like soy sauce
bowls or whatever.
It looks like those little soy sauce dishes at the
just an old skate park or something with just a bunch of little bowls built up.
That's not a bad idea.
Matches going on in each little divot. Just have it going. The kids get the smaller divots.
I mean, yeah, that's doable. That's doable. But
they could probably engineer this thing with that brain, that kind of brain. They probably find that and make that work pretty easily.
Well, and like we said, and we say this all the time, that like rising tides brings all ships up, yada yada yada, all that. So like, yeah, if that means that now every single weekend there's an ADCC Open, there's a UFC Open.
He's trying to get a job from the UFC. I just went ahead and commented fired. You just had to go ahead. I see you out there, referee Heath. The streets is watching, dog.
I saw that comment.
The streets are watching. Just want to let you. But no, that's the thing too. That's gonna happen, right? That's the same. They're gonna need that. They're gonna need that. Hopefully, with somebody their size and their like risk aversion, they'll do a good job of that stuff with officiating and things.
I guarantee you they have fences around their competition area.
Maybe. Might just get a bunch of couches. About 10 Drew Fosters, throw them right there.
Just let it go.
You know? Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hey. The ultimate thing that I think is going to happen with all of it is it's good overall. Like it gives us more avenues, it gives us more reasons to train, more ways to cut it up and be like, okay, well, all right, if you're in this rule set, what's going on? What do we got to do differently? How do we do it? So like I don't hate it. Like I don't. Like I genuinely do think that like overall it's a good thing. But I will always be the person, no matter what the scenario outside of combat sports and life and anything. I'm a why guy. Like I like that's I've been pointed out to me multiple times in my life that it's like when you were a kid, were you the kid that was like, well, how come? And yeah, that's always been me.
I didn't have a lot of friends and stuff. It's like, shut up and do the thing.
But why?
I need to know why, because otherwise there's no reason to do it if there's not a good reason.
Exactly.
And that's the issue to me. That's why autistics, that's why we thrive.
Okay.
There's lots of some,
there's and it's like that. It's like, okay, a kid that's coming up and wants to be in the jiu-jitsu scene and wants to be in the pro scene and wants to get somewhere. It's like, well, your three main avenues right now to get paid as a professional grappler are UFC BJJ, ADCC, and that's more for the prestige rather than it is for the pay, regardless of how you look at it. And then the PGF, like those are the ones that are doing the thing. And I take that back. I did see somebody post something on Aiga, I think it was, that they're doing like a collegiate thing.
Too.
Yeah. But anyways, like there's organizations that are out there doing it, and
that's what we should do. We should get like Tallahassee, like, yeah, you fools got those stupid collegiate teams. Not stupid in the way that like dumb, but like, yeah, it was stupid not think of this already. Want one of you boys that's got like one of those collegiate teams, bring your squad to Tallahassee and let's run it under PGF rules like that. There's like those intramural teams or whatever they call them, the club teams. Holy cow. Don't nobody steal my idea. The 15 or whatever less of y'all listening, 5 of y'all right now. But if you steal it, just let me announce it and tell everybody.
Just let you do it.
I don't need much, man. I just like you said, I just want the thing to be cool. I want it to work, and I like doing it. So that's part of the reason I want to do one around here too. Kind of it's just to be able to do it again in a way. Like it's fun. It's really fun. Like all the organizing and everything sucks. But like that sweet spot of when it's like the magical chaos of everything is just like right before you're done, when you're at your most just like finished with everything and ready to quit. That's when it's the best. Because right then after that it's like, oh, cool, we did it, which is great, but then it's like it's all downhill from there though.
Yeah, and you have to learn how to like momentum things and like get in that pendulum swing and know that low is gonna go through it.
That's it. I did a lot with fighting, right?
Yeah,
and so that's the thing is like I need a consistent, give me a 8 to 10 week pattern here, and where I can peak and then go off and then peak and go off and peak and go off during the course of the year. That's my sweet spot. I found that with fighting and stuff. So I think doing events like that was something I was kind of just meditating about a little bit earlier this week, and things is like trying to find that I still haven't really found the sweet spot since I stopped fighting. Really, like I've still been trying to figure out the right.
I think that's a big struggle for athletes across the board, is because you form your life around this thing, and when that thing is over,
right? There's like there's a rhythm to the whole thing, and it just, if it works, it works. And I had really honed it down. So definitely, yeah, let's do that. But
okay.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like that stuff is like that rhythm of the thing is important and needing to keep that going. And it's good for the season. It's good when I do the PGF because the voice is good, the cadence and all. I'm not nervous again because I haven't done anything for a full year. All that stuff's there because now we'll be back to once a year ish and big gaps, whereas before it was, kind of where you're doing at least a 2 a year.
Yeah,
kind of deal. So
Well, man, it's gonna be it's just gonna grow into the next thing.
It's gonna be better. Like it's gonna be better and better as these things keep developing. The regional scene of this can be great. There's still just wide open opportunities for whatever in this world. So
speaking of wide open opportunities, there's the Cancun Open coming up down there in Cancun, Mexico, August 1st. I posted something the other day that gives the breakdown of like you win the bracket, that puts you into the absolute points bracket. You win that bracket, you go to JHI 3. You win JHI 3, you can go to the PGF draft.
Profit.
Pure profit. but the other thing is that it's also, like I said, we're leaning in the direction of like scouting events and being that thing. And so it's the way that things always work. It's like if you're showing out and you're doing good like movement and having all the different things and you're entertaining and all that, that's another way that you can get selected because people can see potential. And like I think that that's very apparent in the different types of people that we've seen that have flourished, especially this last season in BGF. I mean, you saw people that have finally kind of gotten over their hump type of thing. I mean, we saw Cam Hurd come out and surprise us a bunch of times. Speaking of which, he's one of the coaches in the Never Skip Leg Day Cancun camp.
That one.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what he's going to be bringing to the table. We got Kyle Chambers on that list. We got Sean Applegate. We got Chewy, and then Johnny.
To see side to side, like
who,
like Kyle and then Sean.
Okay.
Well, depending on where Sean goes with his teaching or whatever, I would just like to see them too. Like they're both of the like leg lock approaches, like. Like like overlay
side by side.
Like, what are the like what do you key on? What do you think is important? Why? And like okay, then let me blend these ideas and see what I come up with, because a lot of times that's kind of where the magic happens, because both of those guys are really good at it, but I think they come at it with different angles,
for sure,
in a lot of ways. So I think that that would be that'd be a cool take to get. And then obviously Chewy's going to be like, yeah, whatever his thing is going to be getting about horsepower. I think getting a good bite. He's going to, I think that's one of the things. Sure.
I've got two seminars.
He's got the bite on your, like,
that's it.
Is whatever he does.
It's the setup. Once he sets up and bites it, you can't get out.
Right, but he can't be that much stronger than everybody that all these other guys have kind of went with and rolled with and stuff, to where they say it's, like, oh, it's different. You hear people say stuff about stuff like that with guys, right? And you're like, oh, it can't be that different or whatever. Then you feel, and you're like, oh shit,
that's different.
Like, for example, for myself, it's like Josh Hinger and his guillotine or whatever. People were like, that's the thing he's known for. Ran into him at an absolute division at a cash tournament one day, and he like literally like ripped the skin off of my chin with his grip being so tight as I was trying to tight. And I was like, huh. I guess that makes sense of why you can't get away from it very much, and people just have to tap a lot or they go to sleep, because I couldn't get it out, and it was like it was pulling the skin off it. He had such a grip, and maybe he just developed that pocket. And that's a thing that could be interesting too, is you get those ideas from people, and sometimes there's a mechanic from the thing that somebody says, and you're like, oh, I've never thought about it that way, and then it could just be like boom. So that's cool too.
Yeah, I'm personally excited about both. I'm excited about the tournament because of putting it on, and like we said, like all that fun stuff. But like I was just going down the list of the homies from the PGF and just hitting them up and seeing if they wanted it. And so like the ones that said yes, how I ended up with the lineup that I ended up with, I like set back once the like first poster was made, and I was like, damn. Like, I'm excited to learn from the guys that we're bringing just because of the perspectives.
Miggy, elaborate. We could be sus for a little bit here. I need to know the guy getting the bite on it. What the mechanics? Which part?
I felt like it was a very technical conversation. I don't feel like there's way more stuff.
He was ripping the skin off of my face, my neck when he was trying to pull out.
See, I feel like you're just focusing in on single words.
Yeah, I guess that's how you guys are out there, Miggy. Like in your part of the country, that's like a thing.
This is true. You have to be careful.
Just things like that. You just gotta be careful out there. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff like that. So Cancun going on, the tournament, the camp, the training environment, the opportunities is growing down there. More events coming.
Oh, that's another event that got announced that I didn't even know about, and they hit me up, was that Chewy's doing his own. He's got his own tournament that he's putting together over there back home. So we're gonna yeah. He's doing like a Magana Invitational.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. And whoever wins that one is going to be able to qualify for the Johnny Hernandez Invitational and stuff like that. So like we're like I said, there's a little pocket going on down there where they saw what we were doing and they were like, oh, we want to do more of that.
Magana mania.
So like it's
up in the red and the yellow.
It's exciting to me to see it happen, because it's like and that's where I kind of latched onto like what was going on down there, is that it's the same thing that we did before, but now like we already have the model, and so I can just take it and just keep repeating it, type of thing. That it's like, oh yeah,
and
it
becomes the same thing again.
Exactly.
Again, every time.
And then and every time you do it, there's more on the ball. There's more rolling with it. There's more momentum. There's more excitement. There's more in it. Like in the next 3 months, I think this is getting played down a lot in the thing. In the next 3 months, PGF is international.
Oh yeah, Australia. Who's
they
next?
Got the Australia. They got Australia. Who's next? We got what's going on down in Mexico. I've heard conversations of guys that are all over Europe that want to do it and stuff like that. So like, it's happened. The thing has happened, and it's happened even more so outside of our like little hole in the States of like, no, like internationally people are interested in this, and it's the rule set, the way that the game's played, the way that the pathway, everybody loves it. And so that's really cool to watch that happen and to watch it expand, and that having those opportunities and having those things that are real tangible opportunities. It's not like, oh, hey, you can come try run it in this like 37 person bracket, and if you get out on top, you could make like $10,000 and like put it in your Instagram profile. Like you go through this, and even the guys that aren't the top 5 performers are getting the benefits of the fact that we got to see their jiu-jitsu, and we go, ooh, I want to learn from that guy, even though he wasn't the winner, but I want to learn from that guy because like he got himself there. He's on the team, like he's good. Everybody on the team's good. And so like, it's just the plethora of opportunity that I feel like this has brought to the table. I don't think that it is lost on the community. Like everybody is like in that.
It's just something, and I may be speaking like out of turn here even, but like with the Magana Invitational and things like that, man, sounds like there could be even like a potential for a way there could be like a Mexican national team or something, like a Mexican team for the PGF developing or something. That would be a cool.
That'd be cool. That would be cool.
Stuff like that could be very cool and like a beneficial thing to the whole
for everyone.
Man, that's interesting and very cool. Very, very cool. I think spreading it out down there's a lot of talent. It is just kind of hard to see it because it is spread out and it's regional, and you don't see them everywhere. They can't get everywhere to compete. So that'll be another.
That's one of the biggest things, and that's kind of an underlying thing that I'm trying to do with all of what we're doing, is that there's another organization that we're bringing in for the camp and doing all that stuff, that we're working on figuring out how to help international competitors navigate the paperwork and the things that it takes to be a professional athlete on the international level, because there's hoops that they're expected to be able to jump through that nobody's there to help them. And the systems that are set up to help people like that are systems for athletes that are competing for teams that are paying them hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. It's set up for those people and not for just somebody who's trying to like cut their teeth in the thing. And so like my personal goal for a lot of those things is the allowing to help that pathway become an open pathway for people like internationally, regardless of borders, regardless of that, because there is a way to do it. There are paperworks in place, there are processes, but nobody is there to help people through it. And so like that's one of my biggest main goals out of doing this stuff.
I'm sorry. Do you know what Wallow said?
Yes.
The thing. Do you know what that is? The name Wallow put there?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? What is it?
That's the which hold on. Oh, I just saw where it came in.
That's what I was looking up. It's grasshoppers.
Yeah. Okay. But why is it? Why did he put Monterey? I don't understand the last part. That's why I got
team name
of the grasshoppers of Monterey. But he's from Tabasco. That's why I got confused.
Oh, I don't know.
That's not bad.
About this guy. That's like the.
Que una tortuga, más fuerte que un ratón, más noble que una lechuga, su escudo
El
es
Chapulín.
un corazón. Es el Chapulín Colorado.
That's what I thought he was saying. Like
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I thought that's what you were saying. Yeah. Maybe that is what he's saying. Okay,
that's what he was saying. Yeah. Okay, and like use that. Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
That's what I was thinking. There we go. I was like, that's good. That's why I had to look it up though before I just said it, and then okay. Then
no, I get it now. Yeah. Okay. That's
hey,
funny.
We need some merch. If you build it, they'll come. Allegedly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
excited about that. Yeah.
That's that. What else do we got before we do need to perhaps rotate out?
I think that's about all I got. I think I'm going to the Houston Space Museum here in a minute. So.
Oh, that's sick. I want to take the kids to that. Like Space Museum.
Yeah. I was gonna go check that out while we were here. And no, I mean that's all I've got going on. I know that like we're working on the thing in Tallahassee. There's all kinds of news going back and forth on things that are growing and getting bigger. That if anybody's still listening and paying attention, I've got the other project that I'm working on is the open source Jiu Jitsu, and we have I was just showing it to my dad that we have a library of articles that have been written that have about 17 articles I think in there. I may be misquoting exactly how many, but like there's quite a few articles in there, and over 50% of them are like the first 5 SOPs that you should write for your gym. It's if you want to run a gym and you're lost and you don't know where to start and don't do anything, like free resources are sitting right there to help people figure it out. And we're kind of creating a community to where everybody's talking back and forth and trying to like grow and give the information to where, you know, I made a post on Instagram one day where it was like, hey, are you trying to make martial arts your living, your life? With me too. Check out this stuff that I've gotten information from these guys that have been doing it for the last 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. And so like, I'm super excited about that project. That's what's behind the Cancun camp that's going on and doing all those things. So anybody that's in the business world and trying to run it, like I really encourage them to look us up on Instagram, check it out, go join the community. And like, ultimately what it boils down to is that we have a business model where we're giving all the information and resources away. And if you want to execute on them and need help executing on them, that's where the premium sales comes into play of like, we will provide a seat, like fractional C-suites. We can have people that are watching your finances. We can do all that and guide you all the way through a process that you have a machine of a business that's able to run as a business. And it's not entirely reliant on your presence and your physical actual. And that does not mean, and this has been a very long conversation that I've had with multiple CEOs that work in the real business world, is that does not mean set it and forget it.
Damn.
It means that it's something that you can scale and diversify and spread your efforts out to where you don't kill yourself trying to make the thing work.
Anyway, I just need to not do it though. I just want that. And just make money off of it. Do none of the stuff.
That costs money. and even then
there right in time, but that's something that you have to really, really develop to it. You can't do. You have to be aware. You have to be in your stuff. I was joking, but
no. I know that was a joke, but at the same time, it's a good point because I've talked to people that are Fortune 500 company like CEOs. They don't even get that. Actually, their job is probably more intense than anybody that works for them.
Delegation and knowing
how. But you can't just delegate and forget about it because that person may not do what you were asking.
Follow-ups and all that stuff too. So yeah, that was the thing. Well, our people talked to him that we had been setting up, talking to Justin, and one of the things too that they said that was cool was like some of it was even good to get the conversation with him because it just kind of affirmed some of the things they were already doing, and it's like, oh, we are doing a lot of stuff right already too. So it's like it's not even that far off. We just got to fix this a little, maybe fix that a little, and then maybe do this a little, 2 or 3 smaller tweaks, maybe go a lot further than we think. Cause sometimes you're just in the middle of it and don't realize, you know, what you're doing and how you
have to get at that 30,000 foot view.
It's having a coach, you know, it's like we're all,
I'm same thing.
I'm really good.
A trainer.
Somebody watches it, even if they're not quote better than me or whatever, just somebody sees it a lot and they're like, oh, hey, that looked like weird or whatever. What about this? Like, oh, okay. Then I didn't even notice that, but now you can kind of key in on it or whatever. So I think there's a lot of good that's can come from it because a lot of people don't know those things, or they do know things, but they don't know which ones maybe are the 80-20. And so you're putting a lot on the one side, and it was like, that was actually not the right side to start with. You should have built this first, and then that would have been good. But now, you kind of gave it away, so to say. So there's a lot of things that I've learned through like coaching and things like that these guys are offering for free. And then obviously some of it, if you want more, you can get more. But that's cool. That's cool. Very, very excited for you guys and wish that the first week of school wasn't August the first week, or I would be there.
I feel you.
That's life, man. Again, we talk about a lot. You can't be great at everything at the same time. Got to choose to be good at what you can when you can. And missed first day of school last year. Not doing that shit again this year because
I feel that.
What I do. Right.
That's a big moment. That's a moment that you want to be there for. I feel that.
And it helps. My wife's a teacher. So she's doing a lot and emotionally getting ready for a lot. And then, it's just helpful. That's why you want to have at least in my opinion, again, hot take. That's why you want to have a family, like with a husband and a wife together that work together. It's because it's nice.
I feel that. For that. And that's the point to that is that like I said, when I looked at the calendar and made these plans and did all that, like I was just looking between jiu-jitsu tournaments and things that were going on the calendar, and like school year never even crossed my mind.
Of course, right. And so
after you said that,
August, and I was like, hold on, let me look, because it's got to be somewhere around there. And of course, it's that week, right? Of course, we could have been the week before or after or any other week. But again, last year was PGF during that, and so I was out there for that, and it is what it is. We don't have it again this year, but that would have been cool to go to next time. I'm gonna try to.
There'll be more. I've had multiple people hit me up since I made the announcement and seen like multiple people be there, and it's like, oh yeah, well, this is not a one-off thing. Like that, the whole goal is to create a community, to create a thing. We're gonna offer a little bit of the business stuff while people are there if they want it, because like we're trying to like, promote the thing and do all that. And so in the future, it'll be the jiu-jitsu and all that, but like it'll also be a way to come and learn from business owners and people that are in the space that are doing the thing and like learning the marketing, and it'll be one of those kind of retreats type of things where you can like learn, like it covers both. This one is kind of like just introducing it to the community, helping with the Cancun Open, kind of like being in the whole thing and like creating the environment for it. But there's definitely going to be more, and I'm throwing darts at my maps, figuring out other cool places and other things to do it, and like we have access to all kinds of different places. So like, yeah, no, that's going to be something that comes in the future.
Heck yeah.
So,
yeah.
You got anything you want to plug?
No, I think I'm good right now. Just
Right.
doing it, working on stuff, trying to figure out the next thing and how that's gonna be, or another thing, whatever, along the way. But yeah, thanks everybody tuning in. If you hung out this long, you're amazing. I don't know why you would do that unless you just really like us, and then we probably really like you too. Haters, appreciate it. It's cool. And the thing I found out this morning at 6 a.m. at class, a video I saw of things is like, man, the truth is going to come one way or the other. And sometimes you don't have to be the one that proves it to be true. It just gets proven to be true sometimes. And so it's similar to what Isaac was saying earlier. It's just better to stay back out of the fight because they're going to learn. And you don't have to be the one that shows them.
That's good.
So, good times, life lessons here on the Dream Show Live. Isaac, we love you.
I thought you were gonna let it.